What simple thing about this flip was so bad that I didn't even film it? Stay tuned to the end and I'll let you know, and maybe you can give me some tips. Hey everyone, it's Mike and I'm learning to flip. This $20 Facebook Marketplace Bureau was a combination of MDF and wood. The top was MDF, so I decided to scuff and use some Bondo spot filler to fix some scratches and dents. I spot primed any exposed MDF on the top with an oil-based primer to give it a good seal. After that was dried, I went back and used the Zinsser Gray primer on the top. I decided to finish the top using a faux wood grain technique. So first I painted it with the Valspar signature paint in taupe that I had gotten from the Oops paint at Lowe's. This works as a good base coat for the wood grain. If you take a look at some of my recent videos, you'll see that I've been experimenting with the faux wood grain tools. This was my first time using them. My big lesson learned on this was that the glaze I was trying to use first was too watery. I switched to using Dixie Belle Voodoo gel stains, and the thicker consistency worked much better with the tools. I did end up using the glaze over the top to tone down the contrast. I added a second coat of the glaze to tone it down a little more, and then it was time to add a couple of coats of poly. Here's how it turned out. Not perfect, but not bad for my first try. Next, it's time to start repairing some of the larger damage. One of the draw corners was pretty damaged, so I ended up using DAP plastic wood to rebuild the corner. After that was dry, I sanded and then used some Bondo spot putty to try to help seal the corner as well as fill in some other dents. Once done with that, I went back over the spots that I filled with oil-based spray primer, again, to make sure the MDF was sealed and protected from moisture. After fully dried, time to sand and clean and get the gray Zinsser primer again. Time for one more light sand on everything before we do the paint. Time for the first coat of paint. I'm using Bare Alkyd enamel paint here. You'll see that my technique to reduce brush strokes with both the primer and the paint is to paint it on with a brush and then use a foam roller to smooth everything out. Hopefully I'll be able to invest in a paint sprayer soon so I can just spray for a smooth finish. Time for a second coat, same as the first. Sand it, clean it, paint it, roll it. I finished with 2 coats of primer and 2 coats of paint, with a few small touch-ups after that. Then it was time to move on to the hardware. I ended up going with Bare spray paint using the color Antique Brass on the gray hardware to help match the wood tones. You can check out my previous video where I talk about that. I don't know if it's necessary, but I also sprayed them with Rust-Oleum satin clear enamel to help protect them. Do you use top coats on your spray painted hardware? Let me know. So here's a reminder of what it looked like when we began, and this is where we ended up. Although it's not a big design change going from black to black, I definitely cleaned it up with the repairs and the new paint job and gave it some character with the wood grain top and the black and white shelf paper. I didn't record the shelf paper install because I just can't figure out a good process for putting it in. I just can't figure out how to get it in the drawers cleanly, even with 4 hands, never mind 2. Thanks to Rob for the assist. If anyone has any good tips and techniques for getting shelf paper in, please comment below. I need the help. That's all for now. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.